Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to apologize for being sick. Been sick for like a week with a cough and an upper respiratory issue. That is what it is. I just wanted to talk about some nightmare drinking stories. Maybe some of you can relate, or some of you may be forewarned, so you don't have to go through some of these things. It's not fun. I'm not bragging by any means. I'm not trying to one up anyone else's stories. Feel free to share your comments and your experiences. I'm not in competition, because I mean, there's people that pass away in car accidents from drinking, you know what I mean? So like, people can always one up my stories. It can always be worse, or you could become paralyzed or something, you know what I mean? Like, be in a fight and, someone could die from it, stuff like that. So like, I'm in no competition, but I'll explain some of my horrible stories where I'm like, wow, this stuff could have changed my life for the. I never drank and drove though, so that's never been an issue for me. I've been in cars of people that were drinking, but we'll talk about that later. For the first story, I was pounding shots downtown, sitting on a bar stool. I was already drinking, probably at a party before that. I was drinking with friends, doing rounds of shots and everything. And when I'm consuming shots like that, if I'm taking 5, 6, 7 on top of like already drinking 10 beers or 6, 7, 8 mixed drinks, I go from drunk to like blackout so quick, and then it's game over for me. My motor skills go out the window. I'm a mess, right? Because I'm just drinking enough to probably kill the average human at that time. It would probably kill me to this day if I drank like that. But yeah. Anyways, I never like being blackout. It's never fun when you're in it. Like what I remember from being blacked out, it's never fun. I've always liked a really good buzz, or like slight, not, a slight buzz from a few drinks. That was whatever to me. It's nice, but that wasn't what I was going for. But I'd always go past very good buzz point, into like blackout, like super drunk territory. And that's just not, that's where I'd always end up. So yeah, I fell off the bar stool and I smacked my face off the ground, and like my nose probably broke. I don't even know what. My girlfriend always listens to me talking into a microphone by myself. It's just awkward for me. For me, it is like talking when you're just like chilling over there. Like, do you listen to me when I talk? All right, yeah. I'm embarrassed for her to hear some of this stuff, but this stuff is from back when I was more of her age. She's quite young, but so this stuff's old news. But anyways, yeah, I don't even know if I put my hands up or not, but I messed my nose up and I was gushing blood, and I had to hold paper towels on my nose. Just embarrassing, around people that. And I walked up to my apartment. I probably continued drinking. I can't even remember. This was many years ago. These 3 incidents happened within like 2 years of each other, when I was just fresh into the bar, legally able to drink between like 21 and 23, 24. Yeah, like in my early 20s. That was bad. I could have really, I recovered fine from it, but it really messed my face up, you know what I mean? Then walking home from the bar, during like wintertime, and here in the state I live in, it gets icy and stuff. I was like, I don't remember why. I think I was running or walking fast, and I slipped and just went right down onto my face too. Scraped my whole face up again. This is like within the same, like a year later. It was like ice, ice scrapes down my face. Bad. Once again, recovered fine. Then a year later from then, I was out drinking with my buddy all night, and he has diabetes. Shouldn't be drinking. So we're out drinking all night, right? And at like 3 a.m., I think he's getting out of the bar, and he's like, oh, I need my backpack because he needs his diabetes medicine, right? So I grab it, and there's like 15 or 20 stairs down my apartment. right? Get down to the front door. And I grabbed his backpack and I was running down the stairs to get it out front. And I tripped and flew down half the steps onto my face. And I got up to a pool of blood and I didn't feel a thing. I felt it the next day. My face was all messed up. Didn't really break anything. Teeth were fine. I got lucky. I got very lucky. But I think some of these caused my nose to get really red. Like from the scarring from some of these things. My nose will get really red during like the winter time and stuff. Also, I have bad sinuses, allergens too, so that contributes. But I think the tint's slightly redder from all this because I've had long like scabs down my nose from some of these things. This was so long ago now that like it's whatever, but it's still embarrassing to even talk about. And I do not recommend this either. Don't drink and drive. I have friends with like 2, 3, 5 DUIs. It's insane to me. And some of them still drink. I don't think they drive, like the Uber or have people pick them up because they know like one more time they're done, you know. Like sometimes it depends on the judge. You can get 5, 10 years after your second, third time. And I know a guy with 5 DUIs. Might be the corporation he worked for that got him out of it, but I don't know how he's still out. I don't think he has the life for many, many. That's neither here nor there, though. But also, when you don't drink and drive, you have the tendency to get into cars with people that do. And I've done that numerous times. Like, I put my life in danger so many times getting in the cars with people that were probably a 0.3 alcohol level. Like, smashed. You know? I remember my buddy and his girlfriend picked me up one night, and she was about sideswiping cars all over town. She actually ended up flipping her car months later. I can't remember if she wrecked before or after this, but I found out about it. I'm like, oh my God, that could have been me. Like, she totaled her car, flipped it, wrecked it while she was drinking and driving. But I was in the car with her. We were just going like halfway across town, but she almost sideswiped and wrecked like numerous times. I was actually sober when I got in the car. No, I lie, actually. I can't remember if I was sober, if I was like drinking already and then got in. I think I was already drinking. If I was sober, I would have been like, yo, let me out of this car. You know what I mean? But I was thinking in my head even when I was intoxicated in the car, I'm like, oh my God, this girl is way too drunk. So I was like, what am I doing, right? Many times blacked out in cars, going from like town to town with buddies drinking, bar hopping, back roads, easily could have hit a tree or wrecked, you know. I was with a buddy. He got a DUI right in town. I mean, we were only going up like 2 blocks and a cop nabbed him, made him do the walk, the whole 9. Then another friend, he was very country. I want to call him Hick. My girlfriend went to a Hick school. She knows all about Hick. But my one buddy, his dad owned a bunch of land out in the wood, like out in the sticks, right? And we used to take this truck and just drive through the back roads, hitting like bumps, ramps, just like, and some of the roadways were like not much wider than the truck itself, and he would fly. And I remember like pounding bottles and tossing him beer while we had a car, like a truck full of people, 5 or 6 of us, just flying around. And I'm thinking, man, I could die tonight, but I did not really care because I was just so wasted. It was fun at the time. Now, I will say this. A lot of these experiences are very fun when you're doing them, like bar hopping, flying around, all this stuff. It's fun when you're doing it and you just don't care. But in retrospect and hindsight, from a sober perspective, it's like you could really put yourself into a situation where you end up crippled. Your friends end up killing other people by accident with a vehicle. You know, your friends could get injured. You know, DUIs. There's a lot of repercussions that can come from these things. And it's wild to think back and just, wow, I did this stuff. Don't even get in the cars of people that are intoxicated. all it takes is they're risking your life, you know? And I've had friends say, "Oh, I drive better when I'm drunk." Dude, don't feed into that bull crap. A lot of these dudes that say that, they have a record that they can't even drive anymore. They end up getting dinged eventually. I have met people in their 40s that have driven drunk to that day, right? And they still have not gotten nabbed. They're a rare breed, man. I have a buddy that I know he used to drive every time he would drink. Sometimes he was heavily intoxicated. He never got nabbed either. I mean, it happens, but dude, it's like 1 out of 30. Like, your odds are less than 5%. You know, long term, you're gonna get nabbed. Most people I know have gotten DUIs that drink and drive, and it heavily affects their life. ARD costs like $2,000 to $4,000, probably depending on state. That'll wipe your record. If you don't take that course and pay, it's on your record for life, especially if you get 2 or 3. I don't know what you have to go through to have that expunged, but you have a record then. You know, employers see that on your record. If a company needs you to drive or something, it affects you. Yeah, it's just bad news in general. So yeah, those are just some of my experiences. I never thought I'd see the day where I shared these experiences. Like I said, it's not a badge of honor. It's embarrassing. It's degenerate. It's deplorable. I don't even like that word, deplorable. But it's not. It's embarrassing to even talk about these things. And I know many people have worse situations they went through, and many people have very mild situations, and you don't want it to get worse, right? And with alcoholism, you're going to continuously put yourself in situations like that because you don't care. Like, your inhibitions go out the window when you're drinking. It's clear as day. Like, I would never get into a car with an intoxicated friend right now. But when I was drunk, I did it way too much. I just did not care. And I'm very lucky to have not, been in an accident. Very, very lucky. I couldn't even tell you if there were close calls. I mean, I don't remember there being any super close calls, but I don't know. You know what I mean? When you're drunk like that with people in the car, you're talking, you drinking, whatever, you just don't care. You don't even pay attention to what the driver's doing. And who knows what they're doing, But yeah, anyways, yeah, that's about it. Those are some stories. Share in the comments some of your experiences. I'd love to hear it. Like I said, I'm not trying to be in competition with anybody. I mean, there's people out there that lose their lives or, cause a loss of life with other people when they drink and drive or get into a bar fight. Oh, I'll touch on that. As far as bar fights and stuff, it never was an issue. Like, I was never a drunk to start drama, Like, if someone started in on me and I was intoxicated, yeah, I'd be a mad drunk about it. I would retaliate, but no one ever really messed with me. I never had an issue. I had one friend one time who started in on me. He was very intoxicated and we had a fist fight right down on the main road in town. And that was stupid too. Cops come by, you're getting thrown in, you're getting charged, right? And they can do public intoxication, a whole host of things. So that's, even fighting's just stupid. But it was the only fight. I won the fight. And I worked with him and, we made amends later. We were cool. He lost. And then he was already messed up and he tried to come in and he wanted me to come back outside for round 2. And he was talking crap to these brothers and they all went out and there was a big brawl afterwards. I left. I got out of there. I'm like, I'm not sticking around for the po-po this time. So I left. It was done. This was many years ago anyways. But him being drunk got him into a whole host of punching matches. And when he came into work, he was gooned up pretty bad from me and whoever else he got into it with. I mean, he was just trying to fight everybody. Me and him had our rounds first. I don't know what happened. I got out of there. I wasn't sticking around. But that was the only time. But there's people that frequently fight at the bars, and they constantly have a rap sheet and fines and they're beat up, beating people up. you know, catch an assault charge. It's not worth it. And also, someone falls and like hits their head and they die, like that's it. It's a manslaughter charge. I don't even know if it'd be involuntary or not. But that's a whole other thing. I've seen a video of a dude stepping in. These guys were like harassing this girl, and he stepped in to try to defend her, and he got punched, knocked out, hit his head off like the corner of a table, ended up dying. That dude that punched him got like many years, almost life in prison. You know what I mean? It's technically manslaughter. So if you're good at throwing your fists, just remember, if they die when you're doing it, you're held accountable, dude. You know, everyone wants to be the tough guy, but you're not going to look so tough if you get 10, 20, 30 years in prison. You don't look like a fool. But anyways, yeah, that's about it. Take it easy.